Hello everyone. Just wanted to make a quick video. I've been working on speed sets for my well, I've got one of each armor type basically, just for farming each a bit of odd raids. I've done a hunter for mail, a warrior for plate, a mage for cloth, and a druid, of course, for leather. Now, all of these classes can have perfectly viable speed sets now. Because of the latest 925 crafted gear, you can now craft things with this thing on here. Look, increase speed by 62, increase ground mount speed while 10% in Shadowlands. And this can be crafted on every slot. So I've gone for two. Right, this is the same for every class as well. You know, everyone you do it on, you can basically use the same gear. Right, there's a bit of a requirement, so to speak. The Heart of Azeroth is kind of, it's not necessarily needed, but if you get 3 pieces of azerite gear with this long strider on it, it works. You know, they're so good. They're very, very fast. Actually, the hunter doesn't actually have any shoulders, azerite shoulders, because there's not many that have long strider on. The ones that are available are really hard to get solo, and being primarily a solo player. So anyway, right, Heart of Azeroth, long strider azerite pieces, and all this crafted gear with the increased speed. Increased speed in ground mount speed. You don't worry too much about the ground mount speed. Weapon can be pretty much any weapon. The cloaks I found to be quite expensive. I'm not able to craft any cloaks on any of my crafters. I can only craft. I've only got a tailor and a leather worker. The boots are quite important. They have to be item level 50 or lower, and they can be enchanted with the minus speed, which is actually a flat 10% movement speed. One mistake I did make on this, if you notice, all of these armors, these crafted shadebound ones, the 233 ones, are leather on my hunter. I accidentally crafted the leather ones instead of the mail ones, so that's my bad. So yeah, there's a few things. Your cloak, you can get this enchant here. Look, 20 stamina, minus speed increase. Minus speed on boots. Right, one thing to note with the crafted gear, if you read the long strider, it takes increase your movement speed by 20% of your highest secondary rating up to 6%. So when you're getting this crafted gear, you need to try and stack as much of one that you can. I believe on this hunter I've done mastery. You know, like each of my crafted pieces, if you notice, will have some form of mastery on, whether it be straight mastery if I've got lucky when crafting it, or mastery with something else. Some of the rings, I mean, my rings are actually not too bad. The rings also, the crafted ones come with sockets, so you can get the 2 gems, the straddling gems. Yeah, straddling viridium will give you 3% in one of them, and the straddling sage agate will give you 5% in the other one. So that's another, 8% movement speed just there in the gems alone. So yeah, all the crafted gear, stack 1 secondary stat as much as you can. Mastery being the one in this case. I mean, if you check my mastery, I'm at, where's my mastery? 842 mastery on this. You know, this is purely for doing old content, so you don't worry too much about the item level anyway. But if you're doing current content, obviously this wouldn't be as viable. Still viable if you know what to do. The weapon, for the most part, you're going to struggle to find a weapon with native speed. They can roll with these bonus stats, but you're very, very, very hard pressed to find one with speed on it. So any weapon's pretty much fine. There is one thing you can do. Right, I'll just do a quick thing. So item level 50 or lower boots, enchant with minus speed. Rings you can also enchant with the stat that you're stacking. Mastery in this case, Heart of Azeroth, just so you can get the Azerite bonuses. You can get Heart of Azeroth to level 50 really quickly just following the storyline. And so far, this hunter in a non-Shadowlands zone, so the Heart of Azeroth is working. If you see just here, look, I've got a speed count, I think here, the percentage. This hunter now in non-Shadowlands zones is at 216% movement speed. That's 16% faster than a ground mount. This guy moves like a boss, and if you're doing any old content, old Shadowlands, Legion raids, anything like, not Shadowlands, sorry, Legion or Battle for Azeroth raids and stuff, where the Heart of Azeroth is active, this is the speed I'm moving all the time in this old content, and I can do this, it goes out to 161 when I attack, 166 there, because I've attacked, but as soon as my buffs kick in again, my Wind Running and Trailblazer, it starts stacking up again, 206, it goes up to 216. The hunter I've found, I think, to be my second fastest one. The druid's the fastest one so far. But I'm just going to show you a little thing as well with my mage, because the mage is also a alchemist. Now, the classes that have movement speed abilities are going to be the best by far. You know, the hunter has trailblazing, which is 30% movement speed. Druids are the fastest ones because they get, if you're a feral druid, you get an innate 45% movement speed increase anyways in cat form. So you just add into that with the speed gear basically. The mage has got a trinket from alchemy. So on my mage, I've gone for stacking versatility. Now, if you're an alchemist, you want to stack versatility every time because the trinket you can craft is a versatility trinket. And as you'll see, when it loads in, you can also put this movement speed bonus thing on the trinket when you craft it. So you can buy the trinkets by on pickup. So unfortunately, you do have to be an alchemist to do it. This thing here, look, 105 versatility. Sorry, just move my thing out of the way. And it also, if you look down at the bottom of it, it also increases speed by 62 and increases ground mount speed by 10% in Shadowlands. So I've gone for versatility as much as I can on the mage. His versatility is at 683, which isn't great really. You know, three pieces of azerite gear, Heart of Azeroth, 233 cloak, braces. You know, all of these have got the movement speed thing on, except the boots. Again, boots item level 50 or lower, enchanted by the movement speed. Always go for the legs when you go for the 262 piece. You can only equip one 262 piece, and the legs are the best one because they have a higher stat total than, say, 262 gloves would, for example. But because helmet, chest, and legs are the only two that have the higher stat totals, and you're using the chest and helmet slot for the azerite pieces, the legs are the only viable slot for it. And again, look, 5% movement speed, 3% movement speed. Normal weapon, you know, just a random weapon that's from the Zereth Mortis. Heart of Azeroth, you know, same as the Hunter. Mages don't have any innate movement speed abilities, so this guy's only running in Shadowlands at 149%. But you know, it's still pretty quick. But if I'm doing an old dungeon, for example, let's just go to Stormwind. So you know, I'll be in old content that isn't Shadowlands. Basically, anywhere that isn't Shadowlands will work as old content where your Heart of Azeroth functions. So the Azerite gear works. So once this loads into Stormwind, I'll be a bit quicker than I was in Shadowlands. But you're not going to be using this gear if you want to speed farm Shadowlands, because you want to be able to kill the mobs quickly as well. So once we're loaded into Stormwind, we're in Stormwind now. So now my Heart of Azeroth is functional as well, which means these Longstrider bits are functional. And now in here, I'm at 160% movement speed. And this will go for, you know, all old dungeons, any dungeon, raid, or anything pre-Shadowlands, this will be my movement speed in. With a mage, though, they also actually have a talent, which I've taken. Chrono Shift here. Arcane Barrage slows enemies by 50% and increases your movement speed by 50%. So as soon as you Arcane Barrage once, you move even quicker. I think, well, it goes up to 210%. So let's just go to the target dummies, just so I can show you what I mean. This is only mage specific, this thing I'm about to show you, you know. Every class has its own things, you know. Warrior's got Warbringer as well. When you kill an enemy, you get a short burst of movement. There is one thing to note, is there's a food called Bear Tartar. On my realm, it's, I think about 80 or 90 gold per one. And it gives you, if you spend 10 seconds eating, it gives you a buff for an hour, where every time you kill something, it gives you a speed movement buff. I don't know how much it is exactly. So I'm running around 160%. If I throw an Arcane Barrage, I go to 210%. And by the time that runs out, it's come off cooldown. So I can... sorry about the details thing. So I can constantly be running around, doing this, and hitting 210% damage. If I'm doing something quick, you know, I'm moving at 210% speed all the time. Mages are another good one. I chose Mage for my cloth because Arcane Explosion. This, in old content, just takes out everything. Yeah, Hunter was more for the barrage. It's just, Hunter's so fast and barrage hits for a ton, and you can pull entire rooms with it. So that's my reasoning behind that. Warrior was my choice for plate just because Whirlwind, straight up. Whirlwind, you have Heroic Leap with a Warrior. And once there's a talent with Heroic Leap where when you cast it, you gain 70% movement speed for a few seconds when you land. So again, it all just adds to the movement speed. And I've farmed a few old raids already with these, and it does help tremendously. It really does help tremendously with the movement speed bonuses. It's great if you're just trying to do a fast run, even old content for mount drops, anything like that, or specific transmogs you're after. These sets can get quite expensive unless you can craft them yourself. You can buy them on the auction house with the speed sort of bonus built into it, but they can get very expensive. So it's loading to the warrior. Just a quick example of warriors. But crafting the gear yourself tends to be fairly okay. So warriors, if I get off my mount, so 162% without any extra bonuses, 162% all the time. If I heroic leap, 232% for a couple of seconds. But warriors have charge. They have the talent I was talking about, Warbringer, I believe it's called. No, War Machine. Sorry. Your attack killing an enemy generates 10 rage and increases your movement speed by 30% for 8 seconds. Just another movement speed buff. As I was talking about the bear tartar, this food heal up. Restores 10,000, blah blah blah. Must remain seated while eating. If you spend at least 10 seconds eating, you become well fed and gain speed for a short time after killing an enemy. Again, it all adds up. And when you're doing old dungeons or raids or anything, just for transmogs or whatever reason you're doing it, all the speed adds up. The mage is by far the slowest one so far, I think I've found. Druid, I believe, is the fastest. This guy's pretty quick, honestly. But druids, again, they have swipe, which is good for AoE farming. Moonfire, if you take you can use Moonfire in cat form. I think it's with a talent, so you can pull things from further away and stuff like that. It's pretty good. And I've chosen one of each armor class just for farming sort of the offset tier pieces. So if I go and say Hellfire Citadel, for example, there's offset pieces that drop there that where you can wear the warrior lookalike armor on your Death Knight, stuff like that. That's what I like to do, and that's why I've chosen one of each armor type as well, just to do one fast run on each class. The druid is this guy's 198% in human form. This isn't even in cat form. Although this has actually got the Night Fae buff there. Look, the somnambulist. Wow, somnambulist. I want to say 198% in human form. In cat form, we're at 228%. This is stealthed as well. I'm moving at 228% stealthed. You can just run around, swipe, spam. Say if you're doing a quick raid, just run around, swipe everything you want. It's pretty crazy. The movement speeds are insane. And the fact that I'm running at this speed while in human form as well, just wait for my feline swiftness. Yeah, 198%. I'm literally 2% off ground mount speed in my human form on my feet. It's crazy. It just makes farming old content so much faster, so much easier. It can get a bit expensive if you're buying the pieces yourself. I think because I can't craft the cloaks myself, each character was like 28,000 gold per cloak. So it can get expensive. If you can craft the gear yourself, great. It's not too bad. But for the most part, I've gone over the gear is the same on every character. 3 pieces of azerite gear, Heart of Azeroth, bracers, gloves, belt, all 233 crafted with the bonus. Legs 262 crafted with the bonus. Boots level 50. This is just something I got from a raid finder thing. I just enchanted it with minus speed. As long as I'm level 50, you're fine because it can take the minus speed enchant. 2 rings 233 with the bonus, the increased speed bonus, and you can put the gems on them, and you can also enchant them with the stat that you're stacking. Mine being mastery in this case. Trinkets. If you're an alchemist, go for versatility as your stat to stack, because the trinket you can craft from that can also have this bonus, the increases speed by 68 bonus. And I think that's pretty much it, honestly. The weapon, again, if you can find a weapon that has an innate speed roll on it, then go for it. But for the most part, you're steamrolling everything anyway in old content. This is more than fast enough to do most things. I timed myself doing Hellfire Citadel Mythic on my Hunter earlier. I've just switched to Marksman on it, but as Beast Mastery, I cleared the whole thing in 17 minutes. That's Hellfire Citadel Mythic on my Hunter in 17 minutes from start to finish. I feel like I can do faster as Marksman, just because I can get the bonus now from Thasdara, the Legion artifact thing. It's another 25% speed. So maybe a bit less. I can't remember the exact numbers, but the hunter I think was the hunter I find probably better than druids for clearing stuff. It's got the same, roughly the same speed. You know, maybe it's a tad slower movement speed, but much easier killing potential. And I feel like with as marksmanship, which I'm going to try, you know, I want to try another raid or two shortly. You've got much more potential for one shot. And say if it's you know, Hellfire Citadel, I'll use as an example again. Some of the bosses there, even as Beast Mastery, with all the your damage cooldowns and everything, it can still take a couple of seconds to kill each boss. With Shadowlord Iskar, for example, if you don't burst him down really quickly, he will go into another phase where you can't kill him for a good few seconds. Whereas some classes can one shot him. My druid used the Night Phase Covenant ability, and it one shot Iskar before he could even go into that phase. I feel like with a hunter with aim shot, I feel like that will be able to potentially one hit him. But we'll see. I'll try that next reset. Well, reset being tomorrow for me. I'll try it next reset and see if I can get another video on that. Maybe I'll probably do a video of me clearing a dungeon or two and post it shortly, actually, just to show you how sort of good it can be. But Hunter so far has been the most fun, just because the pulling, the pull potential with this pulls everything you need it to, and the damage you do in our content, the fact that you've got aim shot for some serious big damage, short big damage. And also this, I'd even forgotten about this, the disengage movement speed. Aspect of this cheater, we're just moving like a boss on this. So fast, so easy, great killing potential. The only thing is with this is no stealth, although you do have feigned death as well, so if you get into a situation where you need to drop combat, feigned death's great. But, so that's basically the long and short of it. You've seen the sort of gear that you need for it. You can get an idea yourself, and every class can do this. There's movement speed sets. You can do it on any class, because most of the things are the same. 3 bits of azerite, a few bits of crafted rings, trinkets and weapon aren't so important, and a bit, these boots cost me 5 gold off the auction house. The enchant was 1,000 gold, but the boots were 5. And that's what I mean. It's just so good. So I'll leave this video here just so you've got a good idea of how you need to gear, what you need to look for, what you need to get. But as long as every piece has got this bonus here on it, that's the important thing, because this is the speed, increases speed by 62 grand max speed. That's the important thing. And the azerite gear has to have long strider. As long as you've got them, you don't even have to go as far as I've done with every single piece. You can get a good amount of speed without every single one of these. Although I would say this one here, though, the minor movement speed on boots is a very big one, because that is a flat 10% movement speed there with nothing else. And possibly the gems as well. You've got another 8% there just in 2 gems. But other than that, everything, it works. It's fast, it works, it's pretty good. And even though I mistakenly made leather instead of mail for my hunter, I've still managed to transmog the store armor. And I can't remember what this was, a pre-order for BFA, was it? Maybe, I can't remember. No, pre-order for Shadowlands, I think. But that's because you can't transmog leather into mail, so... But yeah, I'll leave that one there. That is my quick video. Well, I say quick video, it's gone to nearly 20 minutes on speed sets for World of Warcraft. Very good, and I'll see you in the next one. So I appreciate it for watching. Like and subscribe if you fancy it. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye.